What happens when a sitting president tries to take direct control over the most independent institution in the American economy? What happens when that president pushes the nation's highest court to let him fire one of the central bank's key leaders? Tonight, we dive deep into an unfolding constitutional clash that could reshape the future of the Federal Reserve and shake confidence in the stability of global markets. This isn't just a fight about one person. It's a battle about power, independence, and the rule of law. On Thursday morning in Washington, the Trump administration made an extraordinary move. It asked the Supreme Court of the United States to immediately allow President Trump to fire Federal Reserve Board member Lisa Cook. The filing, written by Solicitor General D. John Sauer, was blunt. It declared that a lower court ruling blocking Trump's effort amounted to, in Sauer's words, improper judicial interference. Those are heavy words, especially when aimed at judges who had already sided with Cook. The administration's argument was clear. The president wanted her gone, and he wanted the courts to step aside. Let's rewind for a moment and look at how we got here. Lisa Cook, a highly respected economist and the first black woman to serve on the Federal Reserve Board, was appointed during President Biden's term. Her reputation in academic circles is strong, and her voice on the Fed has been influential, particularly on issues of inflation and financial stability. But in recent months, she became the target of allegations raised by Bill Pulte, the Trump-appointed director of the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Pulte accused Cook of involvement in mortgage fraud, a stunning charge that instantly made headlines. But here's the catch. Cook has never been charged with any crime. She has denied the allegations, calling them baseless and politically motivated. Despite the lack of criminal charges, Trump seized on those allegations as grounds for removal. He invoked a little-known provision that allows presidents to remove Federal Reserve Board members for cause. The phrase "for cause" has always been a legal gray area. Does it mean only proven misconduct, or can it extend to unproven allegations? That is now at the heart of this battle. Trump's legal team argued that keeping Cook in office posed a threat to the integrity of the Federal Reserve, that the Federal Reserve Board plays a uniquely important role in the American economy only heightens the government's and the public's interest in ensuring that an ethically compromised member does not continue wielding its vast powers, Sauer wrote in the Supreme Court filing. But Cook's lawyers countered forcefully. They said that removing her based on unproven accusations would destroy the very idea of due process. If one appointee could level allegations and the president could immediately fire an independent board member, then no member of the Federal Reserve or any independent agency would ever be safe from political retaliation. That's exactly why lower courts had sided with Cook, ruling that she had the right to contest the accusations before facing removal. Now imagine the scene in Washington on the morning this filing landed at the Supreme Court. In Cook's office, her staff huddled around, phones buzzing, reporters calling non-stop. Some aides tried to reassure her. One whispered, "They can't just throw you out like this, not without proof." Cook, visibly tired but resolute, responded calmly, "This is not just about me. This is about the independence of the Federal Reserve. If they succeed here, the precedent will last long after I'm gone." Meanwhile, at the White House, aides close to Trump described a very different mood. The president was adamant. In meetings with his advisors, he reportedly slammed his hand on the table and said, "I want her out now. The Fed should not be run by people we can't trust." His legal team urged him to keep pushing, knowing that the conservative-leaning Supreme Court might be sympathetic to his arguments. The stakes are massive. The Federal Reserve is not just another government agency. Its independence is a bedrock principle of the American economy. Investors, businesses, and foreign governments all trust that Fed decisions are based on economic data, not political whims. If that independence is broken, confidence in U.S. financial markets could shatter. That's why this case matters far beyond Lisa Cook herself. Let's picture the scene at the Supreme Court. Justices in their chambers, clerks poring over Sauer's urgent filing. The arguments laid out in stark language. The executive branch claiming the authority to act swiftly against what it calls an ethically compromised official, versus the judiciary defending the right of an individual to due process. Some justices may see this as a straightforward case of executive power. Others may view it as a dangerous precedent, one that could turn independent agencies into political tools. Inside the legal community, debates have already erupted. One constitutional scholar said, "If the court sides with Trump, the independence of every agency will be in question. Today it's the federal, tomorrow it could be the FTC, the SEC, or even the Federal Election Commission." Another analyst added, "But if they block Trump, they risk tying the hands of the presidency in situations where genuine misconduct demands swift action." And then there are the markets. Traders on Wall Street are watching this story unfold with deep unease. An analyst at a major investment bank commented on live television, "The Fed's credibility is everything. If global investors start to think its members can be fired on a president's whim, the dollar will lose strength, interest rates will become volatile, and America's standing as the world's financial anchor could crumble." But for Lisa Cook, this is not an abstract legal debate or a financial forecast. It is her career, her reputation, and her life's work on the line. Late Thursday, she spoke to a small group of reporters outside her home. Her voice was firm, her words carefully chosen. "I have served with integrity. I will continue to defend my name. And I believe the courts will uphold the principle that no one should be removed without due process." Those words echoed across cable news channels, with anchors debating her chances. Back at the Supreme Court, timing is crucial. Trump's lawyers urged the justices to act quickly, framing the matter as urgent to the stability of the federal Cook's team. In contrast, argued that speed was the enemy of justice, and that the court should let the normal process play out. Now the country waits, perched on the edge of a decision that could redefine the balance between presidential power and institutional independence. In conversations across Washington, the gravity of the moment is sinking in. Some lawmakers warn privately that Trump's move could backfire politically, sparking fears among moderates that he is overreaching. Others, particularly his allies, cheer him on, seeing this as part of his broader effort to reshape institutions he believes are hostile to him. Behind closed doors, Republicans on Capitol Hill discuss strategy, while Democrats prepare press conferences to defend Cook and denounce what they call an attack on democratic norms. And in living rooms across America, ordinary citizens watch the headlines scroll by. Trump asks Supreme Court to fire Fed member. For many, the story is complex and legalistic. But at its core, it's simple. Can the president remove a central bank leader based on allegations alone? The answer will ripple far beyond Washington. It will shape how much trust people have in their government, in their money, and in the very idea of checks and balances. As we close tonight, remember this isn't just about one judge's order, one lawyer's filing, or one president's demand. It's about whether America's most powerful financial institution remains independent, or whether it becomes another arena for political battles. The Supreme Court now holds the answer, and the entire world is watching.